Hey everyone, my name is Hayes Field III.
I'm Hayes Fields II.
I'm Lex.
How y'all doing today? Actually, we really wanted to go over this really long list. I didn't get a chance to read all of this, but Dad, you printed out a lot of these rules for society. What is this?
Well, we have societal rules that we are they're not necessarily written down. They're unwritten rules. You heard the phrase unwritten rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided, let me look at some of them, because some of the things that we deal with are social things. There's a program called Curb Your Enthusiasm, and they have a tendency to touch in on a lot of things. Like, I'll give you one of theirs, but what time is it too late to call someone? Like, when you come home, you're coming home. What time is it too late to call someone?
Too late?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's tiers. That's tiers. Like, I would say, too late to call for something casual past 10 a.m. Casual conversation?
Past 10 a.m.? 10 p.m.
Right.
Don't talk to me without my coffee.
Okay, go ahead.
No, too late to talk to someone, to talk about something casual past 10 p.m.
Okay.
Anything past 11, it doesn't have to be an emergency. It doesn't have to be like, oh, by the way, I meant to tell you this, or like that one last thing or something work-wise. Once you get past midnight, I think it's kind of hard to talk casual. It has to be kind of emergency-ish.
Emergency?
Yeah,
Okay, you see, but these are the things, okay? A baby's being born. The baby's is now born.
That's not, I would say, that's...
A baby's not born.
That's exciting. That's passion. That's important. Once in a lifetime kind of thing.
That can happen at any point in time.
No, I know. So that's appropriate. I would say the expectation, depending on how close you are to the family. So
I say send a text at 1 a.m. If you're doing a baby news. Yeah. Before,
breaking news. Go.
After midnight, I think you should just send a text. All right. And then anything before that, congratulations or something like that.
Across board, though? So, I just had a baby. You up? I don't know.
Well, you see, but these are the points. These are social things that we talk, I see growing up. So we didn't have, a lot of the,
social rules.
Well, not only that, but the technology. When I was a kid, we didn't have a messaging thing. You couldn't, I was a kid, so I couldn't leave a message. It was like, you don't call after 8 o'clock. It was like, it was too late, after dinner. So it's like, but these are what we call like social things that are unwritten rules, because, someone could say, if you have a person that you're dealing with a business situation. Someone says, well, please call me. Sometimes people say this in business. Call me when you get a chance. And that's kind of open. So you say, you're calling me when you get a chance. And when you get a chance, it's 9:30 at night.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a business call that you expect to deal with. Do you call at 9:30 at night when they give you the permission? Say, call me when you get a chance.
Well, if we're talking about business, it depends on what we're talking about, because that's also just is it a 9 to 5? Because some people say that, but also business hours are not open.
Right.
That's on them. I have my chances at 6.
Then there's all the types of business.
And when we're talking about when you were a kid, or are you talking about before or after the answering machine?
Oh, this is before.
Definitely before. Okay, definitely before the answering machine. So I think the 8 p.m. rule applied because there was no other way to find out the need of the message without said recording.
But it was good because if you received the phone call after 9 o'clock, you knew something was up. Like, uh-oh.
At least you would
something's going on. Well, for the most part, if you call someone's house at 10 o'clock in 1971, what's going on?
Right. You go to the phone saying it better be an emergency.
It better be in that, or you're going to the phone and saying, "Oh my God," you're nervous. Because someone who passed. That's the first thing.
Right. I'm going to jump off that for 1 second and being it is kind of weird now with a lot of texting, especially Facebook now or any Instagram thing, where a lot of people, as long as they're quote unquote friends or or followers with you, they can just message you anytime. And that's actually slightly annoying to me. You can make it more private and stuff, but at this point, as long as someone friend request or has a loose association, you have they can just hit you up at any point in time. And there is now, whether you have to answer or not, there's now, because they asked you of something or hey, what's up? Now you have this slight expectation to answer, and that's me annoying because at any point in time, people have access to you.
Yeah, but you see that's what I'm saying. Well, texting, you see, that's what it goes back to the things I don't like. First of all,
I agree. I don't like that.
Let's do what we're supposed to do here. First of all, this is various fields.
Hello,
and we're all here, and if you're supposed to hit all the buttons they say, subscribe,
hit all the buttons.
Comment your
share, tweet.
Comment your times of comment when people should text you.
Yeah. What are your restrictions? What are your parameters?
Leave a comment, but not before 12 a.m.
That's
Oh
good.
my gosh.
I will say one of the things that's jumped out to me because like, have you gone through the whole list yourself, Pops?
No.
Okay.
I just kind of went through.
This
it.
is funny because I get like the unwritten rules on top of stuff. So I feel like they're usually light, but one was number 12. I just happened to be the
12,
first one.
go
I
ahead.
loved. Goes respect others' personal space and privacy, and that's very. Is that not written? Because I feel like that's that's a good rule. I
like that a
Is
lot.
it unwritten? What do you?
It's an unwritten rule because what they're putting is respect other people's privacy and personal space. I say it's regional.
Region.
Yes, it is regional.
Do you mean like okay, so like maybe what is it? Maybe Italian. I believe people are like if maybe Italian family member or something like that, or French or something, and they walk up and they like kiss on the cheek kind of thing.
Well, that as well as where you like. Okay, so
Cultural.
if you cultural regional.
I was sure you meant,
put it like New York City. You're in the subway system. It is very crowded in the subway. It is almost difficult to respect your space when you go on a crowded subway.
Right.
But there is still a notion within the New York City subway rider,
Like situational, if anything.
I'm going to position my posture and my facial expression to say that I don't want you that close, even though there's nothing you can do.
Right.
Okay, then I'll raise this a bit because then there are unwritten rules and all that type of stuff. Is kind of what we're talking about. But also, let's bring it to like quote unquote universal unwritten rules because that's context. Like if you go on a subway, it's a crowded subway. I think even then, like you're doing this, people are trying to respect people's personal space as much as they can, and people understand that. So you're not breaking that rule. Everyone's just like, this is a crowded car, so no one's gonna be like, hey, well, I mean, I guess some people are, but that's on them more than it is. But so I'm saying, but what do we think are now like universal, very close to like everyone kind of gets this.
Yeah, no, even adding on to that, because now you brought up the whole like cram situation. We have buses primarily over how we travel, right? But like I think even in talking about the subway, is that the reason why everyone has kind of like a sour demeanor or expression when they're in cramped areas? Because I always thought like because now you're talking about like privacy. It's like is there a facial expression of "do not bother me"? Right? I'm like I don't think I've ever seen a person on the subway with a happy disposition like. Oh, that's inviting.
See, you guys grew up
tourists.
Here. You guys grew up in our area.
Tourists?
And the thing is,
okay.
In the city, tourists are like, I'm not saying people are happy, but you can tell the difference between someone who's like, I'm in this city, I'm doing my normal 9 to 5, my normal route, whether they're happy or not. You can tell if I'm on a subway.
But even they only do that within their own bounds of like maybe like the community that they came with.
I'm saying if you see someone happy and waving on a subway,
that's eerie.
I'm saying that's probably a trap.
Well, most definitely.
Like, also, we're on the same subway car. Where are you going?
Like, why would you?
Wait
Right?
a second. See, but you gotta also context. You know, it's also it's also safety.
Right.
You know, the sour expression of a normal New York City person is not that they're being antisocial. They're being safe because smiling in New York City is a sign of like.
It seems dangerous.
Nelson here, he said weakness.
Well, Nelson didn't just say weakness. He said it like that. Weakness.
He didn't.
No, you're right.
But in Nell's defense, he kind of sounds like Batman.
He does.
He's got a real deep. One of these days, you guys are gonna hear his voice. But the point is, I grew up learning that. In other words, when you sit down, this is kind of when you go to a restaurant, you look and see where the doors are. Mm-hmm. You don't sit with your back towards the door.
Correct.
You're always prepared. Unfortunately, I was always prepared in the most social, like how would my plan of escape and or attack be? So, you go in with a New York state of mind of like when you hear someone behind you, you have to look.
Right. Yeah.
And it may seem rude to the person behind you if they're not from New York. But you're basically saying that's like a New York thing.
That's almost that's like a per capita thing.
Big city.
That's true.
There's just too many people to be that friendly to.
Because I know I sit always looking at the door at a restaurant too, and it's like I don't know if that. I guess that was what I was raised with naturally because I never really thought about that. I was like I always need to know where my exit is, and I always need to know what's around me. So that's so interesting.
So personal space, and also now I don't know how much time because we've talked about it a lot. We didn't even get into most of it. But honestly. A lot of things are time based upon time, because I would suggest to you, I would suggest to you that number 12, respect of personal space and privacy, has changed post COVID.
I kind of like this one.
You said time. I thought you meant by seconds, so I was thinking smile. Smile is a social rule, but you can't do that for too long.
I kind of like rule number 6 right here. It says, if you borrow someone's car, fill up the tank before you return it. Please, I like that. I will never allow someone to borrow my car. However, please fill up my gas tank. Please.
See, unfortunately, you get into a situation where if you got a person that borrows your car and fills it up, you might let them borrow your car so that your car gets
That's
filled
the
up.
ultimate ride
That's
sharing.
it, you know.
The ultimate ride sharing. That's fair. Okay.
Any other ones? Any other ones?
I mean, you have. There's so many. Actually, no. This isn't bad. I'm gonna pick one randomly.
Yeah, pick one randomly. Go ahead.
Don't fart proudly while sitting among your people.
What number is that?
I just moved it.
Well, no, just tell.
I said random. It says 8, second page.
Second page, number 8. Don't fart proudly while sitting.
Who farts
Is your
proudly?
list?
This is your list.
A proud.
I said
fart.
random. That was
What
one
is
I
a
ran.
proud fart?
It's like I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, are we going to straight?
You
go
don't even
into
call it a
jokes?
fart. Then you just go into flatulence right now.
Flatulence,
It was like
You don't fart when you're proud. Flatulence. You know what that
Oh my
is?
God,
You know what that
that's
is?
bad.
That is a power move.
Is
You
it?
walk into a room, you sit in that business, like, all right, glad you guys come to my office.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
let's get down to. But if you do it without questioning it, I mean, you do control a crowd. I'm not sure it's the right control, but you do control the room after
Yeah,
that.
you may control
Do
the room,
you?
but you're definitely
Can
not.
I-
Yeah.
Do you control the room?
Can I do a
you-
tangent real quickly? Because this was one of the
Please, go
funniest
ahead,
things
go
to
ahead.
me.
No, not a problem.
Whatchamacallit? I was hanging out with my partner, and I was hanging out with them and friends, and one of their friends told me a story about how they have a new boss that came in, or at least they're one of their new upper management people that came in.
Right.
And he got flown in from I think like LA. He apparently gets paid way more than everyone else is, and a lot of the company expenses went to like making sure this guy was comfortable, got paid correctly, so he could do the whole management thing. Because apparently he's great at management and and they said that one of the first things he got, and this is not a joke, this is how this guy did. They sent this man sent an email to like the rest of the department for like how they wanted to organize certain things, and it was just Microsoft Paint and it was just boxes. And Microsoft Paint, he just made boxes, and it was some are brown and orange, and he just said this should explain everything. That was. And he showed me the picture. He showed me the picture of what it is. And this is like, they do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, there's no content. Some people do code. And he sent it to the whole department. So people are like, we don't know what this is. And he goes, the comment, on the email said, this should explain it. And there's probably more to that. But I just love the idea of someone so confidently using Microsoft Point. Like, let's just like using a picture of a stick figure going down a slide and be like, this should explain everything. I just love the confidence, business suit and everything. This is you before me. Like, just sad stick figures. This is you after stick figures throwing money in it. This should explain everything.
Right.
That is so good.
I think that's genius. I really think that's
Your
a
yes
wonderful
and game
thing.
is impressive.
No, really, because I could pretend that I know and make you feel scared
Yeah,
that you don't know.
that's what I mean.
So so now I come in the room and say, so what was your takeaway from that, Johnson?
Wow.
I think that you mean that we should start organizing our days a little better. That's one of them. Very good. Anybody else?
It's so
And you-
good.
and you
That's
start-
a
and
power move.
So you
Much better than farting.
So you go.
It's just so nebulous. I just love it. There's no reason to use Microsoft Paint like professionally because there's
Right.
like there's so many other tools now. So just it does almost seem like a FU to people. Like just
Oh my god!
it does.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow.
so good.
That with a proud fart. You're the man.
I don't think you should. I really think we should just stay away from the
Let's
farts for a second.
move
Let's try
on.
this other one.
What's another one?
Okay, don't let your guests do utensils even if they insist. What does that
Do
even mean?
do utensils? Where's it at?
That's just like on page 4. You have number 27.
Number 27.
27.
I like the list. Don't let your guests do utensils even if
Is that a typo?
27.
They
Don't
gotta
let your
be.
guests do.
That's gotta
Use
be.
utensils? Like,
Yes.
why not?
I don't know. Wait a
Like,
minute,
oh
wait a
no,
minute,
no,
wait a minute,
please!
okay, wait a
I
minute.
prepared
This
this
makes
dinner
no
for
sense.
you.
Don't
Don't use
let-
the fork.
Don't let
Like,
your guests
what
do
utensils?
If even if they maybe it's
a
like
riddle.
wash utensils. Maybe that's washing.
Oh, okay, that might
Maybe
make
washing.
sense.
Maybe
Don't let them wash your dishes. I can understand that.
I don't know.
but,
I
like,
don't know what that was poorly
That's
typed. I don't know what that
That's
means.
fine. No, it's fine. It's
You know,
like don't do utensils.
I don't know. Is it
Actually,
like
some of these are strange. Okay, now I'm just reading. It says never judge people by their look or treat them because of their religion. But that
yeah, that makes sense.
no, but it says never judge people by their look or treat them because of their religion. So
Oh,
grammatically, just as
all
okay.
right, oh,
So
yeah,
I might
this
be
is a
writing.
lot. There may
Okay,
be a
so
lot
might
of
be
typos.
some typos.
Now, in my defense, I did do a lot of copying and pasting, and it could very well be.
now
Oh, okay. So
No,
these
no,
are
no,
printed.
no.
These are not the rules of Hayes, everyone. These are
copy and paste and then print.
okay.
You know,
This is
that's
what-
it.
No, I
these are
wasn't-
internet rules.
You know, so all right. So let's get another one. How much time do we have? We seem to have
We
some
got
time.
at least 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's pick one. Did I pick another one, or how many?
Yeah, pick another one that you
Let's go through it.
feel.
All right, let's see. All right, let's see. No,
Take one.
I like this one. Number 15. Don't break your promise or don't make one if you are not sure you can keep it.
Okay, I like that
That
one.
is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Keep your word.
And we break it all the time. You know, I mean, there's people, you know.
I would say that also makes sense, though, to me. Not, it doesn't make sense to break your promises intentionally,
Well,
but I think a lot of people can get ahead of themselves.
No,
I don't,
not so much
I don't
that.
get on people.
I think that we say things already baked in to break a promise, such as like we'll say things like, "I'm just going to run in the store and be right back." I've never seen anyone actually run into a store. Really, it's like I'm gonna run.
That's funny.
You know, but it's actually someone making you believe that I'm going to actually run, quickly move,
But then they don't buy anything.
and then right,
You're right. Like I wasn't be right back.
Yeah,
There's no point in going in the
so
store.
that's what I'm saying. I think there's there's
That's
levels
funny.
of dishonesty that may be the very
Okay,
That's a phrase
That's a
almost.
phrase. That's an
But it's a
expression.
lie, it's a phrase.
Okay, so let me ask you. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The wife gets me on this too because I say I'll be back in like maybe 15 to 25 minutes, and there's a point when I don't even want to utilize time anymore.
Right.
Because like if I give the exact time of my departure and arrival, then she's clocking me. You know, and just like
But
okay.
you should be able to know get an estimate. You know.
Yeah, like I estimated, and maybe I didn't account for every error that might be hitting me on the street.
understand.
Like, am I like?
Here's the thing, and that's different. But why are you being so specific? Give yourself way too much time, so every time
There you
you're
go.
better.
That's fair.
Give
but
me
then
at least
it's
4 hours.
But then you're
And
gonna
come back
ask,
in
it's like,
15 minutes.
why
You
is it
did
gonna take
amazing.
you 4 hours to go shopping? It's like I don't know.
Imagine you say, give me 4 hours, and you come back in 15 minutes.
Spiders should be invading right now, and I have to evade from that. You know, we might be have to.
Spiders should be invading.
I don't know. They come from the depths of the earth, some fissure cracks in between, and I have to be diverted from traffic.
What
Because
are you
want to
accounting for?
avoid from
Wow.
the Armageddon of arachnids. Yes, I don't know. Like, what errors do you have to account for to not make
What's
the
your
time?
what's your general timeline?
My general timeline? Normally, I say within 1 to 2 hours.
Is that you counting
know?
for things? Because if 1 to 2 hours and you're accounting for the spider apocalypse, you're doing a great job.
I mean, like that's me. That's me
Ah,
not taking the
spiders
spider
everywhere.
the apocalypse into account right now. But like 1 to 2 hours to go into a store and then come back is a safe amount of time.
Like, comment, and share if you take the apocalypse into account.
Yeah. No. Listen.
Count for the rock.
anything can happen.
I think there was a comedian named Paul Reiser that I think he said that no matter what you do when you go out, you have to block out 5 hours. It's either 5 or 3 hours.
5 hours.
Yeah. Well, think about it. If you go out and say, I'm going to go out to the
Okay.
store,
Mhm.
it may be 3 hours, but there's always.
So you're not running there and coming back.
No,
So
it's
that's
just
already
that- no,
off the
but for-
table.
his suggestion is that anything you do to go out, you got to account for 3 hours being lost, 3 to 5 hours.
Actually, I like that because here's the thing.
Okay.
Also, I'm not sure if this is quote unquote just more of an American thing. I do feel like there's sometimes always time or a clock. Like you always feel like you need a rush, and I feel like that can get in the way. You know what I mean? Like, there's one thing about being efficient, and there's another thing about like you want to be able to get a general timeline.
New York
Yeah,
thing?
it's
It's
a
a
New
New
York
York
thing.
thing.
It's a New
Okay.
York thing.
Yeah,
okay.
it is a New York. Nels mentioned it's a New York thing. Chris, I do feel like we're like it's efficiency and you have to be fast. Maybe it's about money or something like that. But I think sometimes like trying to think of things so efficiently can get impractical.
You see, that's the thing, because like you said, I said it last week. What was that thing at home? We live by the clock and we die by the clock. The clock is very important.
I'm not
Also
saying
a
to
very
be
morbid
laissez-
expression
no,
to get to a lot of
But here's the thing,
7-year-old kids.
I'm
I'm
not-
just realizing that.
Yeah, I'm not saying to be laissez-faire. I'm saying that does every second of every part of your day need to be rushed? Because here's the thing: the more efficient you are, the more you are going to count for time. The more you count for time, the more you're counting yourself. And at some point, it gets unnecessary. At some point, you're like, all right, hey, I can relax. Now, if you have a day in a schedule, 9 to 5, your job, stay to your schedule.
Right.
But if you got a day to yourself on top of stuff, and to your own mind, like, all right, I got to get to the grocery store as fast as I can. But that's just, you're stressing yourself out
Yeah.
when you may have time.
There's nothing wrong with having a to-do list, but like to have like an actual timed agenda
Well, that-
for
I'm
everything
saying-
you do.
I think it can get impractical. I think there's a
If I sleep for 6.5 hours, I'll be able to wake up with enough time to go running for about 30 minutes
Give
before
yourself-
the day
my thing is
starts.
give-
Even like,
you gotta give yourself
I can
wiggle room.
see it happening and I can see people doing that, but like how much of your day are you actually timing for yourself? Do you have your life planned out to that effect? Like,
Yeah, well, you know your father. That's very important to me. The time, not that maybe not as stringent as you're saying. But okay, just kind of left turn in this. Vacations. You go on vacation to a place you've never been before.
Yeah, you space that out in days, not in hours.
But do you like say, hey, I'm on vacation, let it go. I want to spend some time in a hotel and sleep.
Balance. You went from 0 to 100. I'm saying like, all right, so you go on a vacation. Let's say how about this? You go on a vacation. Let's say it's a weekend vacation. Weekend vacations can be stressful because let's say you get there on a Friday, but the plane ride was like 8 hours, right? So then you want to do stuff, but then you give yourself time to sleep, but then you feel like you wasted time on your vacation. Right. Then you plan this thing and the bliss thing, maybe you plan dinner, but now your whole vacation becomes so rushed. You're not your heart, and then your vacation becomes a job. You got in the way of your own vacation. I'm not saying that don't plan things out. I'm saying give yourself time to have time.
Yeah, when it comes down to vacations, I want to say like if I'm going away to anywhere, I want to at least plan 3 things a day.
I'm not saying that,
and that way, even if I don't fit all 3 things within that day because of things might happen, we at least enjoyed 2 of those 3 things within that timeline. No,
it is. It's that if I go to a place that I've never been before, and like I want to see that big ball of yarn that was the largest ball of yarn ever.
Yeah, put that as part of your thing.
It's going to be a part of my day. What time we wake up, the breakfast, this and the other, the place, the shopping, and the big ball of yarn is at 1.
But you shouldn't have to schedule breakfast, though. That's what I'm saying.
No. You got to. Yeah.
Okay. How about this? Let's
the hotel.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the hotel does it for you just perfectly.
Let's do
this. Either get breakfast at the hotel or you don't.
Okay, all right. We got too many voices. One at a time.
Nuance. That's what I'm trying to say. So you schedule for breakfast, right? What if you wake up and you're not hungry?
Okay.
So then
you skip breakfast.
You skip breakfast, but are you stressed out about
Are you ahead of time now? It's like, what happens?
You know what I mean? Or you get yourself an orange slice instead of a whole foot. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not arguing time as much as I'm saying planning for certain levels of efficiency all the time becomes
it's nerve-wracking.
You know what it is? I think my problem is that if I go to a hotel, and the very experience of going to a hotel breakfast thing is probably like, I've never been in this hotel. I've never had eggs at this. Their eggs Benedict might be better than I want to try it. Let's get up and so I don't think I've ever.
What hotel have you gone to that serves eggs Benedict?
There's some nice hotels that serve.
I've never had I've only got scrambled or a version of an omelet.
We had to go to. That's different. You have to go to fancy hotels. There's like 5-star hotels. We had to go to resorts.
I'm sorry, I've never been to like an Eggs Benedict hotel myself.
Or go to a hotel. There, a guy named is Benedict, and ask him to make your eggs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a father. Dad jokes are a part of my life.
I was 2 seconds away from making Benedict Cumberbatch jokes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's okay. But anyway, if you like where we're going with all this, and if you have any more social, because we got plenty. How much more time we got? Because what was that?
About 8 minutes.
Oh, 8 minutes. Okay,
exactly.
we got a few more that we can do here. All right. So remember, like, subscribe. Give me some of your social cues.
Okay. I'm going to do one off of the. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No.
Like, subscribe, comment. I'm sorry.
Oh, here's a good one. You cannot blame society for all your failures, so don't project it onto people. That's a interesting one. Like, where'd that even come?
I'm surprised that's on there. I don't know if that's.
Is that a social rule? Like, is that a social rule?
Nah, I think someone slipped that in there to try to make a comment.
This is a list.
Nah.
Dad, didn't you copy and paste this?
I did copy and paste. I didn't read everything. I didn't.
I think that should be part of your social rules. You probably should read these out before copying and pasting.
That's the whole thing. This is the whole thing. This is various fields. We don't care. We just dive right in.
You said that like a producer. This is various fields. Come on, this is what we do. Listen, kid, follow me and you'll go places.
Pippity pop.
I think the safe list is just this 1 to 20. I'm going to stay on
social rules. Don't say pippity pop. No. All right. Here's the thing. So it's not. I'm not sure if it's necessarily on the list, but I want to throw on it. Okay. So like, here's the thing. I run into things that. If they don't have social rules or stuff like that, there's just, I don't know, social anxiety, social things I run into that are tough to navigate. I've run into, how about this? You go to a restaurant, friends, family, whatever the case is, waiter, you order something, right? And then maybe you wanted to add something to the order, all that type of stuff. That person already walked away. Do you call them back, or it's in there? Because that's the thing that I've done that once or twice before, where I've gone in like, oh man, I didn't say my order right, look up, but they walk away. Now I don't know how long. If it's like 5 minutes or minutes, they probably would have made the order. I can't correct it now. They're doing their job. They have people running around, kind of stuff like that. But also, you're the customer's always right kind of thing.
No,
you know what I mean?
I get it right away because no one wants to cook it right away.
I'm not saying like accidental.
Accidental is fine, but I'm saying like if you just recognized that you made a mistake, let's say 5 minutes has passed, right? Fine. Or you can either talk to a passing waitress or a waiter, whatever case may be, and then say, oh, for this table, I misspoke and I said I wanted a medium steak.
I'm not saying to not do it. I'm saying that makes me
right. I meant to say medium rare.
If it's a busy restaurant, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not saying like if I ordered something that I'm allergic to, I'm just.
But it's for the exact same reason that it is a busy restaurant. You don't want to have them cook it twice.
No,
twice.
you don't understand. You don't understand how anxious I am. I'm saying if I said it and I said it wrong, I would have added a couple of things, and it's past 5 minutes. I'm like, oh well, this is what I have now.
Okay, see, I want to help you with this thinking. See, my thing is when you're in the service industry, any change that person makes is an opportunity for them to say, I'm doing something special. I expect a larger tip. That's my mind. My mind is like, listen,
interesting.
Would you mind bringing me another steak or something like that? I'll make it worth your while. I mean, you don't say that, but I mean,
I'll make it worth your while to anybody. Not that way.
Well, there's got to be a time when someone says, I'll make it worth your while.
You could just say, hey, a few extra tip, but make it worth your while is definitely
that is interesting.
I'll make it worth your while.
Okay, please forgive me because I've actually worked in the back of a kitchen. I would much rather someone say, let me change my order real quick. It doesn't matter how long it was, so long as it's not out yet. What I mean?
Wait a minute. If a guy comes over and says, look, I'm going to give you an extra $100 for you to remake something.
I mean, extra $100 is always appreciated. Don't get me wrong.
$200.
Right? No. I'm not worried about the money. I'm talking about
deal or no deal.
I'm talking about both from the side of you being the customer and people working in the service industry, right? So if there was someone that says, "Oh, I messed up my order," I would much rather a client say, "Oh, I messed up," as opposed to blaming it on the kitchen, saying that they did something wrong.
I'm not talking about assigning blame. I'm talking about making a change on a thing.
Make it as soon as you can.
No, but what I'm saying is, if I messed up and I messed up and I said, listen,
rule number 306, admit to your mistake and change it.
I don't think it's a mistake. I mean, you're in a restaurant, you see something extra and you say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I wanted the extra lobster tail. Is it too late to put that in? And you say, I'll offer you.
Okay, that's one thing. But I'm saying, it's not like you're saying, okay, to the waiter, excuse me, I'm pretty darn sure I said medium rare. And then you said, no, I'm pretty darn sure you said medium.
Oh, I think we're talking to...
Yeah, no, here's the thing.
You're talking about making the order wrong.
No, I'm not saying making the order wrong. I'm saying, it's like, I'm just talking about first of all, this came from social rules. I'm just talking about things I'm nervous about, things that I have a hard time with. I'm saying for me, I don't want to affect the waiter or the wait staff because sometimes people are very busy. They have a lot of stuff. You don't know what's going on. And I'm not saying I can't. I'm saying personally I'm nervous about it. I'm not saying I shouldn't. I'm saying I run into issues where I'm like past a certain point in time, or I do this, or I order something, I said something wrong, or even... Here's the thing. I also like ordering new things. It might not be on the menu, but I'm like, hey, I know how to handle that situation. Fine. Hey, you don't have this on the menu, but can you add this, this, and this? Is that cool? If it's not cool, I'm fine with what's on the menu. And if they're cool with it, that's fine. But there is a limit. If you don't have this, you can't. If you're like, hey, I don't realize you can't just make your own.
If you're able to catch the
kale,
mistake.
put kale in my Starbucks coffee.
Okay, well that'd
be weird.
That's weird. Yes. Okay, so naturally, there's always going to be a servant that's working in the service industry. There's always going to be a waiter, a waitress, a cook, a chef that's going to prepare the meal as you asked for it. All right, they're not going to want to make the order twice unless, of course, you're literally ordering a second order.
Let me take it back a little bit. I'm not trying to get too much of the waste out. I'm saying I am personally nervous about certain social things where I'm like, there's orders put in, there's already type of stuff, and I don't want to mess up the process of this because it could slow things. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm just talking about that as an example. Are there any times where you guys feel nervous about certain social situations, about certain things where you have a hard time and things? I intentionally gave something that was mundane because I realize it's mundane, but I'm nervous or I have a hard time socially navigating certain things. And I don't know being shaking in your boots. I'm just saying there are certain things that are common. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, no, I understand what you're saying. But you see, I
guess they're just confident people.
No.
Somewhere going to a mall, a grocery store. Some people have social anxiety going to a grocery store.
Yeah,
going to a grocery store.
Yeah, just some mundane things where in fact, that's a great one. It's not that I have no problem going to a grocery store and on top of things, but for myself, sometimes I like to go with people because I get distracted and I buy everything. So I'm like, I need to bring a list. I need to do this, but I'm not sure it's a social thing, but it is I like to go with people. So this is why I get my certain tasks done. But I'm just saying, to me, this adds to the social. Or you say hi to a waiter says, brings your food, hope you enjoy. And you say, you too. You're like, I've done that before. I'm just saying small, social, mundane things.
But I got you. Well, I personally think in service industry things, I'm going to create my own adage. I don't know if it is an adage. In any service industry situation, money is a Band-Aid. You know, so depending upon how big you are,
that's too expensive. For
no, I'm just saying. If you ever feel like, oh my gosh, I did that wrong, increase the amount of money you give the person.
I agree with that within a certain level, but that's also weird because that's like how that gets weird real quick depending on how much money you have. Then it's like money fixes everything. I know that's not what you're saying, but
I am saying that.
Well,
all right. So as a takeaway, thank you very much for joining us today. I know we can talk about this forever, but just always remember to bribe your wait staff and they'll love you more. All right. This has been Various Fields. We very much appreciate your time with us today. We'll catch you on the next one. Do you have anything last to say?
Remember, money isn't everything, but it does help.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you on the next one. I love you guys very much.
Love you. Love you
Peace.
guys. Bye.
Bye.